guys, welcome back to Kuma Style Reviews. I'm TJ. This is one I've actually been wanting to review for a bit. This is Zen of Collectibles, their CangDao toy line. This is CD-02 White Tiger. So, yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason the box says Tian Wei. Tian Wei was a completely different figure, the one that we just reviewed on this channel. So, yeah, I don't get it at all, but again, this is White Tiger. It says White Tiger on each side of the box, which you can't see right now, but I'll have it angled in the next parts of the review. But, okay, looking at what comes in the box. This is the base. Base lights up. We'll go over that more. It has a Hot Toy style stand that actually screws into it, and it is one of the best mecha stands I've actually ever seen. So this is backpack, and tons of accessories here, right? So I guess the backpack's an accessory. We've got an additional hand here. These two pieces, they're like accessory style pieces. I don't know if they're supposed to be wings, boosters, whatever, but they actually connect to the backpack. I'll show you that. These two pieces, they act as two parts. They are like blaster attachments that can replace his hand, as well as pieces of this part which connects to the tail as well. I'll show you that, but this is his back skirt, which this piece connects to, as well as the tail and these two pieces. This is his axe. This is the handle for its axe. Take an angle in and out. This is actually die cast, that metal piece. This slots into the areas that hold the tail, so I guess that's an additional option in case you don't want to place the tail there. You can just have that nub instead. These are two swords. Okay. These pieces here, actually, take these side parts, and it's a double hinge. Get those back. Get those back. But once you got it kind of lined up proper, as long as that part's in, take it, believe it goes in like this. Alright, I might have to read the instruction on that one, but that's the gist of it. And these two pieces replace these two parts, which these connect to. Yeah, to give it more of an extension. So basically, if you hadn't caught the gist of it, the majority of this stuff on this table will actually attach to this gigantic freaking figure, which is about 11 inches tall. So again, 11 inches tall, die cast, just the fit and finish of this, not like Tian Wei whatsoever. This is definitely more of the higher end. This one retails for about $200 plus tax and shipping wherever you buy it. I don't know why I'm hitting my camera there. That made no sense. Sorry for doing that. But yeah, it's an incredible piece. Articulation's on par. This is going to be a very glowing review. Just letting you guys know in advance. It's definitely one that I recommend. And what I'm going to do is take probably about 20 minutes or so and show you why I recommend it in depth. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so getting started here. The detail on this thing is sublime. Let's go ahead and get you guys a measurement. The horn, no matter what, is going to be the top part. This doesn't fall off or anything like that. It does peg on. I can see why they left it off. But right here, I have got approximately 10.5 inches. It's listed at 11, but no, looks like it's 10.5 inches to be more accurate. And I just want to point out something really cool, because I don't want to forget to point that out on this review. If you look at the forearm right here, trying to frame it, in fact, we'll go ahead and make it easier. Pull off the hand here, all right? Make sure that's still in focus. I actually want to bring it down a little bit more, the arm. It's actually a lion's head on its own. Kind of reminds me of the separate lions from Go Lion. So, yeah. Again, really neat detail. And hey, we'll go out of order with this one. Why not? Since that's right here, go ahead and look at the hand articulation. The hand itself actually has the wrist articulation built into it. Not the wrist articulation, the wrist rock. So it can go in and out, which is neat. I don't think I've ever seen that on there before, but if you look at the fingers themselves, each one has tons of articulation, huge, super robot-esque fingers and stuff like that. Just neat stuff. Tons of spread, even the thumb, like, it's just crazy good. All right. Now zooming out. Getting that wrist back right. Give you guys a look at the back here. So, there's a panel back here, right? And it's hard because the lever is black. You can see the 3 batteries there. Offhand, I don't know what kind of batteries this thing takes. Let me see if the instructions say so. All right, AG0. All right, 3 AG0 for both the figure itself as well as the alternate head stand. We'll look at that too. The problem with this is the switch here. The switch here is extremely long, and it's easy to, because it's pretty firm towards the end, and then it's so long that it's easy to kind of press down without actually pressing down the back. So what I recommend, instead of using your finger to whatever so that you don't break the switch, take something that can fit in there so you can reach towards the back of the switch and bring it down that way. Because it's a hard press, a good click to even get it up and down. All right? So, zooming out here. And you'll see once you do, get this guy centered, you'll have LEDs here on both the eyes and the chest. Okay? So we'll turn off these lights here so you can see how bright they are. Very good, very bright. Boom. Boom. Then the front of the figure here. Now we can go ahead and go over the articulation, which is actually really good, especially for a figure not necessarily of this size, but just of this build, because there's a lot going on here. All right, so the neck, when it comes to head movement, you got to take into account these antennae. They don't come off or anything like that, so if you break them, you break them. Just watch it. If you see any limitations and stuff like that, I would say make sure to look here first. It's kind of hard because it's white on white, and yeah. All right. So the top of the head, 360. It is on a ball joint, okay? And there's that. That's not going to come off normally because you're not going to be fidgeting around like this on camera. But upwards, so there's another ball joint. I'm not sure because there are electronics that go through there and stuff like that, so I'm not going to pull the neck off, but it moves like there's a ball joint where the neck meets the clavicle as well as a ball joint where the head itself pegs on. So you've got that extra bit of movement there, lots of upward, downward, boom, boom. So good stuff. And then with the 360 and stuff, antennas as well as the chin here, okay? And we'll take a look at the alternate head because it has like an open mouth and stuff, so that's going to limit the articulation a bit there as well. But we'll look at that in a bit. All right, shoulder pads. Take this side. There is upward and downward movement. The shoulder pads are on their own, I guess, tilt thing, swivel, whatever you want to call it. But they're huge, so yeah, you don't get quite as much clearance as you do with regular bots, regular whatever. And again, this figure has a lot going on. So even when it comes to bringing this arm parallel, swinging that up, you've got that there, right? That clashes with the shoulder pads. But there we go. All right, parallel. And then the shoulders themselves do move up, but you gotta watch the head. And they move down too. And there's some back and forth butterfly in there too. Now look in here. 360 swivel, and you saw that. Hit the hip skirt. 360 at the bicep, double jointed elbows, And one thing I will say is that on the arms, I don't know why they necessarily do this, but the forearms, these things on the side, actually come up, these two side pieces, and they block the elbow. So, swing them down, and that's when you get the full elbow movement. We already went over the hands, so now, take both. Gotta love that horn. Next time it falls off, I think I'll just leave it off for the sake of this portion. Alright. And one thing I will say, I opened this figure up. A lot of these shells, easily removable. And I went through and just kiki joint polish pretty much the whole frame. I wouldn't say the joints are necessarily loose. They're not horrible, but they're not up to standard, especially for a figure that's this heavy. You're going to see the big backpack and stuff like that, but yeah. I can do a tutorial on that too if you guys request it, if you guys get it in hand, want to do a little bit more with it, but yeah. Alright, side to side swivel. And what's cool about this, he has articulation here, articulation here, articulation here, literally 3 levels of articulation. They don't always have the same movement, like side to side, back and forth, but lots of movement there. So that side, and then a little bit more at that second level, right? So that's sideways. Back bend, okay? And then ab crunch. You've got it right here, boom, and then a little bit more up there. And that's same for the back bend too. Now with the waist swivel, it can do a full 360. Well shit, that doesn't even block. I thought the skirts were gonna block. Okay. Very cool, very cool. Now let's look at these skirt pieces. Nothing there. These move. And they do have some adjustment there too. And this is really neat stuff with some of the adjustments because that angry face he comes with is fierce. So there's that, there's that. Okay. And now we'll go through the leg movement without the back skirt, and then we'll start getting the rest of it on because the back skirt extremely limits the back swing, okay? So here's that. And it also has the ability to swing through, just like Pian Wei. And then the back, boom, swing this part back, and then the hip itself has some swivel there. Or some swing. Alright, get that up. Hips, thigh swivel. It's blocked because of the shape of the thigh. Multi-jointed knees. Alright. Cool. Lots of ankle articulation there, both front and back, and then the front of the foot has them separate. And now we can start taking a look at his accessories. Okay, and now to start looking at the add-ons, accessories. Got the head on, that comes separately. The horn for the head comes separately. And I think none of anything else that's on the body right now is separate. Maybe the side skirts, I'm not sure. But we'll go with the back skirt. Like I said, we didn't put that on at first because I wanted you guys to see the extent of like the leg backswing and stuff like that, because it is unfortunately limited when this is attached. This does have that kind of expansion mode as well. So a little cool tidbit, and it just snaps into place. Let me see. The legs may actually be too far back for this to connect at the moment, so straighten them out a bit, see if that helps. Yeah, so it does have a little bit of movement there, but let's be real, not a lot. So it's unfortunate. And I wish there was some kind of actual extension or something like that, but it is what it is. And it's just so weird because you would think a lot of these, you know, overseas companies and whatnot would be more in tune with people wanting the more, I guess, outward pelvis, cinched in, ab crunch, and whatnot, that heroic posing or those dominant stances, because that's where it comes from. But man, I see more limitations in some of these overseas figures than I do in retail US ones at times. Alright, so this is the main backpack here. And what we're doing, we're just going over the accessories as we attach them, because that way we can get straight into posing and stuff like that. Send you guys off with just cool poses from here. Alright, so this does separate these two parts. This can go backwards as well. Alright, the one thing I don't like about this backpack, it's great, looks great, everything like that, but it's not the backpack itself, I guess the engineering behind this, is that it covers up your access to the light switch. Like, what the hell? So you've got all this, and there are multiple pieces that are going to attach to this thing too, but peg in, and it pegs in great. So shout outs to that. And even these, when you bring them around, they actually tab together. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so this is what we got so far, alright? We're going to go ahead and continue with the hip skirt before we get to the backpack, because I don't want anything covering up our access to that. Now, you got some options with the tail. Like I said, we have that nub piece that you can put in place of the tail. So, there's that. But I'm not going to do that because I don't like it as much. This is actually my favorite look. Just having the tail plug straight in and boom. Tons of levels of articulation. Move it up, move it down, side to side. It's sick. And it really adds to some of your dynamic posing and stuff like that when you've got the tail going one way or another. Adds to that sense of direction, right? So you can have it like that, just straight into the hip skirt, or you can go ahead and plug this piece in. And then have the tail on there as well, okay? The pieces that this holds are these. There's no expansion, nothing like that. Just straight up. Yeah. Honestly, for as great as I think this piece is, it's just, these particular pieces are so doofy. Alright, so plug one in there, it comes with two. Plug one in there. Plug one in there. And it gets weighty because that piece is die cast. And then the weapons, even though they're plastic, you know, they do create an imbalance there. I just need to make sure that, and boom, boom. Alright, so they can move in and out. You can swing them back and forward. Alright, but again, tabs in solid, but just not as much as I'd like. One of these actually popped off of this. Let's see if we can get that in fairly easy. Looks like we should be able to. Alright, boom, boom. And they're all ball joints, so each of them can rotate and stuff like that too. Alright? Now, we went over the axe earlier. Plug this piece in. This one actually has a peg. Peg it in. Boom, boom. Okay. And I don't remember if he had trouble holding this thing on its own or not. But there is die cast in that handle, so you might want to be aware and be prepared to strengthen the joints for that, if nothing else. Alright? Get that pop back on. Alright. Oh, this actually has some movement up and down. That's cool. Alright. Same with that side. Okay, I didn't know if that was loose or that's actually supposed to move. It's actually supposed to move. Zoom out a little bit. You know, just put my fingers in your face. That's awesome. Alright. And see what I meant with it comes to the antennas? Boom. Just blocking. Okay. Get that out of his hands. Get that disassembled. All right. Again, out, in. Put that in. And this slides into the backpack pretty naturally. You can see when you're looking from up above where it pegs in, but you can feel for it too, so you don't need to turn the figure around when you have it in hand and stuff like that. And we're winding down, all right? So these swords actually go in this way. I was trying to peg them in reverse earlier, so boom, okay? And then there. And just to show you guys him holding one of the swords. These don't peg or anything like that. All plastic. And he can actually grip them pretty tight without any assistance there, okay? That out of his hand. That, back down. Boom. Boom. There it is from the back. And you do have these extension pieces as well. These plug in here. If for whatever reason you want these to be even more outward in the light, yeah. But you can see he's not leaning back or anything like that. But again, I just assembled this thing and just, yeah, I went crazy with it. And last accessory I'm going to look at is the alternate head. So you can see, remove the backpack, flip the lights back on. All right. And it just pipes through here. And this one, okay, has this little base here. Also, 3 AG0 batteries. It's pretty cool. Then you just pop it off of that. Pop it onto here. Boom. Put this one on the display. Oh, there we go. Boom. In fact, let me stand on the other side so I don't overshadow it or anything like that, but boom, boom. See, the other one has the open mouth, exposed teeth, different colored eyes. But outside of that, it looks like they're 1-1 in terms of general design. All right, and basic landing pose here. So for this one, since it's a bit more feral, went ahead and went with the open mouth face. And you can see he's able to pull this off even with all of this stuff attached. Let me put the foot down there. And it looks good from multiple angles. Like, that's awesome. Move this over so you guys can see all of it. Okay. And closing this review out, just got him in a jumping flight pose. Pretty easy transition from that heroic landing. A lot of the same, bring the legs down some, put them on the stand. I went ahead and forewent that add-on piece on his tail, just because of the weight and stuff like that, fidgeting around with it, to get some added waist swivel without popping off his back skirt. Let me actually put this up. I like that. Want the tail there for a reason. There was a side piece that just popped off like a panel that's on his lower waist. Let me get that back. And it looks like this. You can't miss it. But when you do that on the side that you want to turn towards the back skirt, it gives you a lot more range of motion without popping that off. I went back to the original head here. With the backpack, I went ahead and just brought these two pieces back instead of having them connected. I went ahead and let out the sides on those thrusters, blasters, whatever they're supposed to be. I truly do not know at this point. I did try the extended pieces here, but unfortunately these two pieces are just too weighty for them, and they just start flopping down everywhere. All right, we got the alternate head on the stand. Use the original head just to bring things back to the beginning because that's where we started. Now with the stand itself, bring the camera up some. Boom, boom. The stand itself does light up. Let me go ahead and show that. Boom, boom. And there's just a button in the back. It's 3 AAA batteries. So 6 AG0, 3 AAA batteries. Okay? The main body of the figure, you won't need a screwdriver, but for both the base and that headstand, you'll need a screwdriver to access the battery compartments. And yeah, showing off the stand real quick, you can see here, complete flight. This is the best stand for any mecha collectible I have ever seen. A number of the Zen of Collectible CangDao products come with bases like this. It's really cool. Looking forward to the next. They were very smart, both in the engineering as well as the accessories for this product, and it just plugs right in. And see, you can bring it down there if you want to. You can bring it up, and it's fully, you can snake it around and this and that. Yeah, it's just good stuff. I actually like that side view too. But overall, what do I think of this product? It's tremendous. The quality and whatnot, it is to the nines, man, compared to like the Tian Wei, which is, again, a $70 product, where this one is, I think the MSRP is actually $200 on the money. A lot of sites like AliExpress and stuff like that, they'll have free shipping offered. But a retailer friend of mine let me know that when it comes to this, a lot of those ones, you have to watch that on AliExpress because they will say free shipping and stuff like that, but then it won't even come with the box and whatnot. So, yeah, and I'm not going to lie. The box on this one, when I put it down for some of these shots, it's so heavy that it made me want to open the box and make sure nothing was left in it and stuff like that. It's just plastic inserts inside, but between the cardboard and the plastic inserts, it's legitimately heavy. Like, it's just... It feels just as heavy as like the Ultimate box. It's way heavier than it should be for that size. But anyway, that's besides anything. But just watch out if you're ordering these on some other sites and whatnot, because they may or may not come with a box. They do label them accurately, so they're not trying to trick you or anything like that. But, you know, read the fine print with anything. Overall, fantastic product. Actually, I have the Black Tiger. I believe it's coming in tomorrow. So it's like the Nemesis version of this. Black, gold, light blue, sky blue, actually. So those Wonderfest Black Prime colors, I cannot wait for that. Or Nucleon Quest Prime. That's a better way to describe it for Transformers fans and stuff like that. So looking forward to that one. And Tian Fa, another one of those mobile suit type ones as well. So that's another $200 compared to $70 product. We'll look at the quality on Tian Fa first. Black Tiger, I'm going to assume it's 1-in-1 with this. Now, I will say, $200, you know, I don't mind going in, fixing up joints and stuff like that. At that price point, I do wish that the joints came tighter, but it's one of those deals to where even without me tightening the joints up, they were still passable fine. But just for some of the poses I like to do using the weapons, this, that, and the other, they definitely did need to have some further tightening. And why give a product like this kind of articulation if you're not gonna have customers set up to utilize it? You know what I mean? But overall, just fantastic stuff. Let me get zoomed in a little bit so you guys can see more of the mold. Just fantastic design. And one thing I will give Zen of Collectibles, I don't know who their design teams are with a lot of these companies. People contract back and forth between them, but they've got an all-star cast, because I have not seen a mecha toy line with this much diversity in terms of their designs literally, like, not even toy line, but the first time I've really ever seen that was Super Robot Wars OG back in the day, man. I believe it was like early 2000s or something like that. Before toy line to have this, dude, they are kicking ass. And frankly, this is a product where if a Bandai produced it, it would be $450 without a doubt. Between the engineering, the design, the build, even the stand and stuff like that, yeah. The pricing on this is fantastic at MSRP. Highly recommend it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I am back to doing this more frequently. Yeah, just I was working 50, 60 hours a week, and finally I'm back to that solid 40, 45-ish and stuff like that. So I have a little bit more time, spending time with my dogs, spending time with my products, remembering the fact that I bought them in the first place and stuff like that. It's a good place to be in. Hopefully you guys are well. Hopefully you guys are having a safe and happy holiday, whether you celebrate it or not. 'Tis the season just to be well, spend time with your family, and just live, man. I will see you guys next time.